When I got to know that I have to go for a training, I didn't even know that I have to go for a training. I was thinking that, this is something, gyms will be supporting me all the way, be giving me some trade leads, and somehow I will be getting into slowly. But that's not how it has. Gym had a big plan. Gym had a plan right from the beginning where how to get an entry person into the business, how he can manage him to start at a basic level and get him to the upper levels, and how to get him succeeded. So all these things I didn't really know before I got the training. And I didn't even expect that Jim will be training me in administration aspects, in maintaining finances, how should I do my books. I thought this is something a person have to do, because with my retail experience, no one has taught me. I have learned it myself. No one will give you the basics of how you have to run your books. That's up to you. But Jim took it on board.
Now, today on the Jim's podcast, I'm joined by Ranjith, and you're our first Jim's IT interview. So thank you for coming on board. And Jim's IT is a rebranded division, which used to be Jim's Computer Services, which has been around for a while, but it's been rebranded as Jim's IT. And the reason why we're talking to you is because you emailed Jim back about how you started, and Jim was quite impressed with how well you're doing already. So maybe do you want to just start with a bit about before what you were doing prior to Jim's IT, and just talk about how did you come involved with the Jim's group?
Yeah, no, sure. And firstly, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about Jim's IT. I'm basically a graduate from information technology, and long back I've completed in 2000. Then I've been always into retail, and I had fuel stations, convenience stores, lottery stores, and this is what my passion in now retail and business. I carry on for about 15, 20 years. I've been doing that. Recently, I wanted a shift in my career, and I was thinking of doing my virtual career, which is my IT. So I've done some cyber security courses. I've done my certificate for cybersecurity, and I got some training in that as well. Then I worked for TSA Group, which is a company mainly hosts Telstra, giving small business support for people in regards to networking, mobile issues, Telstra issues, any type of data networking issues. So that was an offshore job, like I sit at home and do remote. But I felt like I need to do something on hands, and same type of job. What I'm doing on with Telstra is like remote support for people. So I thought I can do a lot more than that. So that's where it came to a point where I thought of starting myself in IT as a business. First thing came up was Jim. So that's how I have to come here.
Yeah. So what was it about Jim's IT that you liked the look of or liked the sound of?
Basically, Jim's, when I looked into how to get into a business with the ITs, getting into a retail business is a lot easier for me, actually, because I've been there, done that. I know whom to contact and what. But with IT, I didn't have much of information, where to go, whom to talk, how to get into the market, what to actually look at, what prospects I have to looking at, and where should I be looking at my customers if I have to get some jobs. For example, if a retail, I need to sell some chocolates, I just call the company. But IT, it's not like that. You need to actually know your market before in hand. So are you going to do a network site support? Are you going to do a business site support? Are you going to do general maintenance? Are you going to give cybersecurity aspects? What are you looking at? This is what the big thing was in my mind. Always I was looking into where I can start and how I did a bit of research, actually, saying about 15, 20 days I was online, doing some Googling, and what other people are doing, what I can see on LinkedIn and Facebook, what people are actually offering, and how I can be different from them. I know people are doing it, but if I was one of them, will I win? That was the main question. So then came Jim's IT, and to be frank, I didn't know until then that Jim's IT was existing. So that was as soon as I looked into their prospects, I see that all my interests are coming together. I have seen that they're giving remote IT support, Apple support, NBN, internet, home and office support, virus, database, backups, iPad, everything is there. It's all of my interest. It's coming to a point where my search came to an end, and I felt like, I have to contact them. It was easy to contact them as well. It's not like I have to, wait for hours together to get someone and to talk to the right person. I just booked a little appointment. I've said what I was online, and I'm looking for so-and-so. And soon I did that. I got a message saying that, we're very interested. I got a message saying that this is the point of contact. You can contact them directly. Later in 1 or 2 weeks time, see, I've got a call from Tony, from Jim's franchisor, and I spoke to him, and still I didn't get to a point where I decided. But yeah, at least I got, yes, there is someone who can help me out. So that's where I have contacted Jim's.
Yeah, and how's the training experience? Because you've obviously run some pretty, like, to run those retail businesses is pretty, not an easy thing. It's pretty hard to do. So how did you've got a lot of big business experience. So how did you find the training experience at Jim's HQ?
When I got to know that I have to go for a training, I didn't even know that I have to go for a training. I was thinking that, this is something, Jim's will be supporting me all the way, be giving me some trade leads, and somehow I will be getting into slowly. But that's not how it has. Jim had a big plan. Jim had a plan right from the beginning where how to get an entry person into the business, how he can manage him to start at a basic level and get him to the upper levels, and how to get him succeeded. So all these things I didn't really know before I got the training. And I didn't even expect that Jim will be training me in administration aspects, in maintaining finances, how should I do, my books. I thought this is something a person have to do, because with my retail experience, no one has taught me. I have learned it myself. Now, no one will give you the basics of how you have to run your books. That's up to you. But Jim took it on board. So that was something very impressive. And I did like that, actually. More, to be frank, I know most of it, but I can see that people giving a hands-on experience right from the beginning. That's a good thing I have from Jim. So once I got, I have to attend a training, I've got the information, so I thought I'll attend it. Once I went there, I've been, very nice place. It was like a holiday for a couple of days for me. To be frank, it's a nice place. I appreciate that. And I was enjoying all the time. Actually, it was not more like a training only. It's like more, entertainment for me as well. Peaceful. It was very peaceful. I was not in a, I was in a mood to take a holiday, but I don't need it. It's like that. Okay. Yes. And once I've been and see they've pretty much I've got everything on board. What's going to happen in the next 5 days in the training? Step by step, there we have gone from basics to the books to taxation, everything. Then comes the actual IT training we had with the franchisor. Tony was good, Brad was very good. They have helped me a lot as well to get actually saying what would be there on field. I never did it, so I never know what was actually there on the field. But they have that experience. We can, more than what I learned about the IT itself, I have actually learned more about how to deal with issues, how to get a customer, to accept our jobs and we complete their job satisfactorily. So it was good. It was very nice, actually. I have learned so many things, how to deal with the customer things and all those things. Step by step, they have a plan. Jim has a plan. We follow it. I think it would be pretty good.
And can you just give some people some insights into the training with Tony and Brad? What are the stuff that you're getting shown and what's involved in that?
When I started, that was a good question as well for me. When I started, what will you be training me today? 2 days is pretty less time. Now, you can't actually learn the basics of what is IT. But that is not what we were looking at. When you come into gyms, I expect that we are going into trade, market with IT. That means pretty much of everything. It's not easy. You need to have your skills. That's the basics. That's what my understanding is. I would say we need to have our basics before we go into any business. Either it is retail or it is fuel or general merchandising or IT or anything. But when I came to, I know that I need to know pretty much of it, but I was pretty confident of what I am doing. As soon as I had the IT type of training, I've been first examined myself by, franchisor, the Tony, and he has pretty much evaluated what I am good at and what I'm not, so that he can pretty much understanding. This goes with what jobs we offer with the customers. For example, we are offering virus removal, or we are offering Wi-Fi setup, or we are offering printer setup, or for example, we have a data recovery job or something like that. So job by job, every job what we list to the customer, he has gone through with me in training each part of it. So wherever I am lacking any knowledge, he did add up and he gave a support on it. He has a pretty good database where you can actually go straight away and, okay, you have an issue. Okay, you go to the teams. We have our own chat section there to give the support all the time. And if you are stuck with something, you have a pretty good guide there where you can go for each and everything. All the services that we are providing in gyms has a documented file where you can go and review. Okay, if you don't know, yeah, go there, study it, and you can learn it if you are not good there. And that is pretty much is a good thing. I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot there as well. You know many things, but there are easy ways to do. Always there is a learning curve for me as well, or anyone. And not only today, yeah, technology evolves every day. So you need to be learning every day. So that's something I have learned from there. I have done all sort of those trainings, what he has done, I think pretty much passed very well. That's how it was. So.
That's great. It's great to hear. And yeah, no, it's really, really good to hear. And it's a really interesting division because, as you said, the technology changes every day. There's something new, right? So there's so many things you're just constantly learning and learning and learning. But I was going to say as well, with the services you do you want to just maybe tell everyone what are the services that you provide in your business, or you can provide businesses or to individuals?
See, most of the services, what we are providing are from the small little things like email setups or general cleaning of computer, getting your normal monthly checkups, or if you are using it too much on your business, it's better to have your 6 months or 1 year checkup on your computer, whether it is secured or not. Right from there to we even deal with managed services. We deal with giving online support whenever they want, small business supports, internet supports, VPN, or even connecting from base to so cloud to cloud VPN support. So we do a lot of those, all of them, but it is not limited. Small to big, everything. Most of the jobs what we see are kind of internet issues, email setup issues, password recoveries, or backup and reinstallation of devices. And then you have managed services. Sometimes basically few little things people won't be able to do it. For example, they lost the password. They didn't actually lose the password. It is still there, but they can't recover it. Most of them nowadays, to be secure, they use one or the other type of password generators, random generators, where you don't have to actually use your own password. It will be generating a random one all the time to keep you. So to access them, they get stuck somewhere, or how to use them. Even sometimes, general guidance, what is safe, what is not safe. As a cyber security principle, we have set principles how to protect our computer. Like the first thing itself is the protect. Protecting is basically whether your computer is equipped with proper virus equipment, antivirus equipment, and when you have whether malwares and everything is been fully cleaned, your browser is secure. If there are any cookies or anything which is damaging computer, things like that. General setup. We do all these things in general checkup, and we do maintain them. So those are the things primarily for general people. But when it comes to small businesses, see, for example, a pizza shop. Basically, I get people from small shops, and because I had a previous experience with retail, I have some people who I know. I have grabbed some of those leads as well. And so what I see basically is, I have a friend of mine who has a restaurant running, and he's a big setup. Now he's changing all his tills, so POS systems, and now new POS systems require new hardware requirements. So easy, but if it is down, their business is down. A pizza shop, for example, their phone line is down. The only reason the phone line is down was because all the phone lines now are connected to internet. They are VoIP phone lines. So these rely pretty much on the internet. If the internet is gone, the phone line is gone. So we are there to provide a backup for them, or we are there to provide reset up of them, or so. Most of the time it does happen. Pizza shop, their phone line is dead. That means their whole day is gone. They won't get any orders. Those are the common things that we see. But pretty much there are many things like regular updates, patchworks. Like we got we have a family practice, which I know, and they have 18 computers running all the time, and they have a regular backup system running. And those backups, sometimes fail, and sometimes they have, or all the systems are not backing up, or they can't retrieve, or they have a hardware failure or a network issue, one of the switches fails. So many of them, so it's a complicated thing. Some of them are cloud backed up, and some of them are local backed up, depending upon the local laws. Government has its own law. You can't actually save data in other country databases to be secure. It should be in the same country. So we need to know which server is actually connected to, and things like that. And so that's where we come there. Okay, we take managed service in in the next level where we will be there all the time. You have a issue, we will check it. If your servers are not backing up, we will check it. If your systems are not working properly, we will check it. Your systems are monitored all the time by us. As soon as you have an issue with your computer, we know it before anyone knows. And an alert comes, we come to you, okay, this is what's happening, you have to rectify. And on this part, so this is what happens here is that an issue is being tackled earlier and as well as, secure before it even goes out of hand. So that's why we play a big role in managed servicing where, small business, they mostly affected. These small businesses are the one which are mostly affected by cyber criminals, So that's
no, I think I'm glad you said all that information. I think it's really important because it's such a big market, the SMEs, and it's so much more cost effective having someone like you where they can call as opposed to an internal IT person, and you can probably still do what they require. So it's a big cost saving, I think, to most SMEs outsourcing it or having someone like yourself from the Jim's IT team that they can call on and do those things as opposed to full-time IT people. So I'm really, really glad you said all that information. And that's something that hopefully people know that we can do, because I know most people might not know about the division, but that's a perfect thing for SMEs is this, just to use you guys. It's such a cost saving to the business. You can save them a lot of money.
Yes, the fraction of cost, you see, eventually it can save a lot of money in the future, and as well as even prevent it from a disaster. Even if there is a disaster, we have steps to recover it. So it's the cybersecurity principle, one by step. It's, if you follow these ones, you are actually compiled with the NIST standards or ISO 27001, which is the cybersecurity standard for Australia. Once we follow all these ones, we are actually following the standards of Australia. And so taking the steps earlier is better than waiting until it is a disaster, So that is my advice to everyone. Have a look at yours. If not, we are there to do that service. We'll come, we'll have a look, give you, what is the insight of it. We'll prepare a nice report, and better to be safe than it is too late.
For sure. And every week there seems to be some sort of data breach or some business getting bad PR because they've been hacked, or there's some Russian crypto locker group or whatever has gone at them, and it's really bad PR. So having someone from Jim's IT actually make sure your data's secure and you're not going to fall for those sorts of things can protect you from really bad PR. Because that happened last week. I think there was 5 businesses over here that got named and, all over the news and all that sort of stuff, right? And they weren't overly big businesses. They were sort of the medium-sized small businesses, but it's really bad to your reputation, especially if you're storing data, which most people do have customer data. Having you guys involved, it's just an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say that would be my best advice to everyone who is running a small business or big business. It's better to have it inspected and by a professional and get it certified, and have everything, in standards, so that you are safe. You can be relaxed that yes, everything is fine and we are running it in these standards. Yeah.
And another question I want to ask you is about your early success. So Jim was quite impressed with how well you're doing early days, because sometimes it can be a slower build. So maybe you want to just tell people about what you did differently, or what have you been doing in your business to get yourself going?
Oh, yes. When I started, I had no idea what I will be doing, how I will be doing. Actually, I was so nervous as well, because I never did things going to someone's house or some premises or their business. And it will be so confusing as well, because it's not your equipment, it's someone's equipment. As soon as you go there, you see all sort of things you need to get your head around. And it was like, did I take the right decision? Or whether I can do it? That confidence level will be very low. It is pretty common, I think. Now I feel like it is pretty common that you will have that there, because you don't know, you haven't been there doing this all the time. So, but sooner or later, I can feel that, people are so welcoming. They have an issue and they have very low hands. No one can actually help them out. So, and there is someone to help you out. So that gives me, talking to them and interacting with them and knowing more about them and how they use their equipment. It gives me, bit of time, and as well as I'll understand them very well, how they are using their equipment and how they are want to be more safer, or how they want to get more work done with the same thing. So once you get to know, relax and spend a little bit of time. See, there is no point hurrying. I don't do work in a hurry. So that is one thing I have learned. If I go somewhere, if I have to do a job, I will not go in such a way that, I'm spending 2 hours, 3 hours. No, I am going for a job. Either it can be completed in half an hour, it can take 2 hours. That's fine for me. But at the end of the day, I will be learning as well. So that is more important for me. And the more I learn, the more quicker I'll be doing the next ones, and more happier my customers will be. And obviously, all the customers I've met are very, very good. Actually, they are welcoming. They always have a smile on. It's not like retail. I sell fuel, I sold fuel, I sold lotteries and all those things. I get customers, even though the fuel is not mine, I'm just selling it. They'll be very angry. Your fuel is expensive and all those things. But
I can imagine, yes.
so here, it's not like that. It's, they are waiting for their issue to be fixed, and they are welcoming, and I'm quite happy. You will always come out cheerfully because you have plenty of time there. You can sit, understand each and everything. What the most thing I do actually is whenever I go through an issue, I'll go from the bottom and start from the bottom to go to the actual issue. And on the way, I'll be explaining the same thing to the customer as well, so that he knows. And at the end of the day, when we find out that there is the issue, he gets a joyful cheers as well. Oh, I found it. So for example, we had an issue with the touch screen, and I don't know that computer is a touch screen. Actually, it is just going. The cursor is going to a corner automatically. At the end of the day, we found that computer is a touch screen, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know." So things like that. So after a later stage, after a few more days, after a couple of weeks, actually saying, I slowly started to get more confidence because I know exactly what happens with things. When you do the same job again and again, you slowly get to a point where you understand the issues very easily. And that's what has been happening. So I'm getting my confidence. I don't say that I'm still more confident. I'm better confident than what I started, but I still have to grow in many ways. It's, as I said, your IT.
I'm very glad you said that, Ranjit, because that's something that's not often said, but it is a common theme. That first week or two, you were right. It's a big change. It can be very scary. You second guess yourself. But as you said, you get a few wins under the board and you see, actually, these people, I'm helping them, their problem, and they're so grateful about it. And it's just stacking those wins, those small wins. And as you go, you build confidence. And especially in IT, because some people who maybe in IT, it's a bit of a generalization, might not be socially as outgoing as maybe some others. But that's a really great thing you said. And you are there to solve a problem. You're there to solve a major block in their business. So, they probably, out of any division in the gyms group, I think having an IT guy there when you're just frustrated with what's going on is probably the best gym service they can almost have in a way, because you are there to solve a problem. You are there to save them money. You are there to get them moving again. And that's a great attitude of that, how you got to think about going down. I'm glad you said that, because it's not an easy thing for the first time to go to someone's home or to their business. And especially if you're not used to that sort of thing, it can be quite scary. But I'm really glad you said that, and you're getting some really good wins moving forward. And let's just talk about now marketing yourself. So you went to your old network, but how have you been going generating work for yourself? So your previous network, you had some contacts, you went in there, which is great. What about some other work as well?
This is a good question as well, and big question as well. Even before I came into gyms, I was thinking of, I was actually starting up myself to do all these things on my own. So my brain was always running on how to reach different people, how to reach them to where to be the right point. You should know your demographics as well as a firm. You have to do your own work. This is an aspect where it changes from person to person, business to business, and how you look and what is easy for you. For some people, it may be easy to go and drop flyers and talk to them there and there. And for some people, it is easy to go and stand on a little conference room somewhere and talk to them about yourself and your company. For some people, it may be easy to go into a aged care facility, talk to people, help them here and there, express yourself, and get your leads. My way is to talk to people. Word of mouth has always been a big factor for me. I have a couple of leads from my family friends where I have with the aged care people around here. So that's where actually my first impression started. These people are having so many issues all the time. I should be able to help them. I was helping them all the time. So I thought I should be doing it for my life as a lifestyle as well. So that is my lifestyle. I go to those people, talk to them, give them free advice. That's how they get to know me. Once they get to know me and they have confidence that, okay, I know this fellow, I can call him all the time. Same time, whenever I meet a new person, I hand over a card. I'll give my visiting card. I'll give them a little hint of what is the issues we are having. For example, people and friends always call me and saying, okay, I need to get new cameras. What do you suggest? I need to get new phone. What should you suggest? So this will happen on a regular basis, because once you get into your family, friends, and relatives around you, when they know you that there is a cybersecurity graduate or IT professional with you, they want to get that idea from you. So they will call. And that will be it should be their first contact. You should be the first contact for them. And that happens. That is what my target is. Whenever I speak to someone, I'll make sure that I am there in their. If I go to a business, I'll make sure that I'll put that in their business, that I am there for you to help you out. And always I try to maintain a professional work suit all the time, no matter where I go, just because it actually gives a very big professionalism that you can present yourself to a customer. It as soon as they have an issue, it's not just your name, it's your vehicle, it's yourself, your dressing, your personality comes in front of. That's what is my opinion. So that's actually played a big role to start up myself. I didn't really get too many of those jobs, but yes, I'm getting to know people, getting to know more about me now. And word of mouth, when you do your job properly and they are very satisfied, that is a common thing. You will tell to a friend. Definitely, you will tell to a friend, okay, I have someone. You want the contact number? There we go. So that happens, and that is happening as well. And I expect in future, I will be pretty busy as well. I'm expecting to be, from last month to this month itself, I can see a growth of at least 30%. I'm seeing more people coming to me, repeated customers coming to me, and people calling me on small issues as well. I'm happy. It's not that even if it is a small thing they're calling you, they are calling you. That is the big thing. I can say that this is what I do. Word of mouth is the first thing. Talk to the people, talk to your friends and family, give your visiting cards and help them out for small issues. You don't have to think about what you are earning there. It tells you automatically in the later stage. And wherever possible, professionalism is important. You should keep yourself in a good costume all the time, nice, neatly dressed, and I think that will do. Yeah, and Jim is always there to help me out. He is supporting me all the way, so I'm pretty confident.
That's great. And how are you building, and how are you planning to keep building your business? Just by doing those repeat things, as you said, providing good service, or are you still going out into businesses, or how are you trying to generate more work for yourself?
Yep. See, what I'm doing is already working for me. I'll keep it. But whenever I go, as I said, wherever I go, whenever I go, I will speak a little bit about new technology. For example, I went to a party, and it's a common thing that some technology aspect will come. Either he is having a good phone, or someone will say, see, my computer is not working, I need a need. These topics are always there. So you take a lead in that part. I will take a lead always. No, okay, you have an issue with your computer. Okay, what is the issue? What's happening with it? Okay, we'll check it out. We'll do this thing. Or if you're talking about some general, some hacking thing happened somewhere. Okay, be a lead. And what can you discuss? The discussion is one thing, and hand over your cards. And that's pretty much what I do. And I talk to new organizations. For example, as I said, age care is my first thing, because that is easy for me, to be frank. Flyers do work, but just putting a flyer is not enough, because what I saw is it should not go into junk mail. I want that, you should reach the customer. I do normally, for example, in my area, I live in this area, and if I put a flyer, if I'm having someone in front of the house, I'll talk to them, make sure that I have eye contact with them, talk to them, better know each other. So those things. I will always have, if a small business have an issue, I'll always put my advertisement material there. I have my flyers, my cards, my friends. I'll ask them to review on Google. That's a good thing as well. Google reviews, actually, they help a lot. They go a long way as well, because when I started, it was nothing. But then they quickly go up, because people get to know. So I'll always ask them to give them review, or if I'll open it, give it them. Okay, can you please give me a review? And it's not, even if it's a bad review, that's fine for me, because I learn from it. So I learn. It's not the end of everything. You will have it. That's fine. I will take it and I'll learn it, and I'll go back to them and do that, fix it for them. So that's what I do. To be frank, that's what I will be. I'm doing all this time, and probably I will do something else as well later. But as of now, this is what I'm doing.
Great. Now, just for some SMEs who may be watching or listening, what's some of the things that small businesses might not know, but they should have in place regarding to IT? What are some basics, some let's say from some essentials or some must-haves that all SMEs must have in regards to IT?
A backup plan for everything. This is what I say to everyone, not only businesses, but even The backup plan should be always there. IT is not like before, where you put a file and it stays there. No, it doesn't stay there. One day the hard drive will be corrupted. One day it is been hacked by someone. It can happen. Anything can happen. So always have the general process in 27001 standards with ISO 27001 standard for cybersecurity 321. They say you should have 3 copies and 3 copies with yourself locally, 2 copies in offsite, and 1 copy in the cloud. That is how the standards are set to get a backup all the time for big companies. But at least you have 1+1, 1 offsite, 1 in cloud. So take a backup and keep it on your hard drive somewhere. That's an offsite, and save it somewhere and put 1 in the cloud. That's more than sufficient for individuals or small businesses, because at least you have confidence. There is a copy in the cloud and there is a copy somewhere in the hard drive. So that is the first thing I'll say. So that there is it should not be an end for anything. It should be, okay, it's happened, that's happened, we'll close it and we'll go fresh. That should be how it should be. IT is always evolving, as I said. As IT evolves, the hackers and their techniques will evolve as well. In the past 2 years, I have seen almost every aspect of a vulnerability has been hacked. They are there to do that. So when they are there to do that, the only way is to secure your first thing. We will secure. First thing is to secure ourselves. So if you know that there are thieves around your house, the first thing you'll do is get a roller shutter, get a nice lock to your house. This is what you do. That's exactly what we do in IT as well. We'll back it up. We'll keep it safe somewhere. First thing. Second thing is always check your equipment. Always check your equipment, whether they are having for example, your business is running a pizza shop and you are relying on 1 phone line. That is wrong. You always should have 2 phone lines connected to 2 different internets or connected to an alternate internet, if temporary internet you want. Because one dies, the other one is always there for you. Mobiles are also good alternative. Nowadays, there have internets with mobile backups. So there are so many options. We have to work here. Talk to us and we will tell them how it is and how to do these things. And the third thing is, definitely don't entertain any, this is called, perimeter security. That means if you're having a store and your equipment is the corner of the store somewhere and people can access it, you can definitely know that physically it is not secure. Someone can pull anything out of it. And that exactly happens. For example, if you go to a restaurant, one of the other restaurant, I can see that there is a modem sitting at the corner, or they have a camera sitting at the corner, or a mic piece sitting at the corner. Now, you need to secure that. First of all, secure that equipment. You should not be accessible to your staff or anyone. It should be always secure. So these things I always notice. And final one and the most important thing, online web security. You need to know the basics of browsing. When you browse, when you open a browser, when you put an address on the browser, you need to know whether that browsing address is safe or not. Whether that is been secured. It has been secured. Do you have that green tick there? Do you have that lock sign there? Is it in the HTTPS web browser, or what type of file you are downloading? And always have an antivirus setup and a malware setup. Internet security is more important than anything else. Even computer security is in least, but internet security is most important, because everything comes from there. You need to secure a computer. You need to secure your modem. People always neglect modem. They only secure their computer. When you're opening the gate of your main gate is open, but internally your safe is there. They can drag your safe and they can go. So what I mean to say is, you have to secure an internet modem as well. Make sure that all your ports of your modem are closed. That's the first thing we do. In cybersecurity, first rule is scan the network. We do scan intentionally. We do penetrate the network to see what are the vulnerabilities present there. And then we'll close one by one. Okay, we advise that this is the port you are having open. We would like to close that. Do you want to? So it's up to the customer if they want to, if not, because some of them run web servers as from home. So it's all that depends. But at the end of the day, what I mean to say is, you check what you are having. You need to have properly secured ports or internet and browsing knowledge. Basic things like what message, how hackers would send a message to you. That is what we do. We acknowledge these things happen, but we do acknowledge that people would not have this information all the time. How to actually look into that web browser thing, how to know whether it is a good website or a bad website. So we do give knowledge. We do encourage them to learn. We do help them as well. So these are the few things I would definitely tell people should know.
Yeah, it's very, and business owners have a lot to worry about. They shouldn't have to learn this or worry about it. They should just get you guys involved to do it. And Jim's group here, we got the old crypto locker, I think around 6 years ago, and we had the old ransom from Russia and all that sort of stuff, and that was not a very good experience. And since then, we've got phishing stuff in place. So our IT team send regular phishing tests and stuff like that. And if you click on those emails, you get put on a wall of shame, we call it, with their name. So that's if you do it, because since then it was not good. It put us just to be open. It put us out of business. No, not out of business, but down for pretty much 2 days. Our whole network. So it very, 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 very significant sort of thing. And now it's becoming a lot more harder with people spoofing emails and sending things. And a business owner might look like it's a genuine email from a bank or something and click on it, and then all of a sudden they've got stuff on their computer, which is. So what stuff can you then put in place for that? Because that's quite a common thing. I know with gyms we have that, but what about a small business owner? So obviously, if they're not aware of it, but obviously someone can spoof an email to make it look like someone from their own staff emailing and making requests. I had it happen to me last week where someone sent an email to finance saying, take my pay and put it into some other bank account, right? So if you don't read it, or you just sort of half thinking, it can be quite easy to fall for it. So what would you put in place in regards to protect the small business from that sort of thing?
Yep, it's a good question as well. This is the general question which every company has, and every company is thinking. Before it was not, but nowadays all the companies are targeting to train their staff in this. And the first thing is training. Yes, every individual in your staff, in your company, has to be trained in cyber safety. Cyber safety is one of the most important thing nowadays, because it can actually lead to catastrophes where you can't recover from. It can be big things like financial damages, or it may be government lawsuits, or it can be anything. So the first thing to target is your employees itself. Make sure your employees know what they're. Train them. Take a 1-hour session every 1 month and get them to the knowledge what's happening. See, these things happen in a different way. One day it comes as an SMS, one day it comes as an email. And it can be coming in, Bluetooth messages as well. You don't think that messages only come from, networks. It can be someone who Bluetooth message. I put a little small thing in the phone where it can send Bluetooth messages to everyone, and that will pass on from there. Those type of things are also there. So be careful with that they need to know. Everyone has to know what can be happening, how it happens. So these basic things, but training is the first part that they have to do. Every company has to do training. This training has to involve slowly, because not everyone knows what is everything. So it has to start from the low levels, like what actually is internet, why it is dangerous. They have to start from their basics to the point where, hacking, what is phishing, what is malware, what is this thing? There are different types of it. What is hooks, all these things has to be learned slowly. So you can't put all of them at a time. Don't do it in such a way that they get hatred and put it aside. No, do it in a small step-by-step way where they can actually learn and they can get knowledge, and they will be more than happy to learn. Actually, I'm saying, because it's not only in the office, it happens them for their house as well. We go to a lot of people doing the same job, removing viruses and removing hacked computers and reinstalling them. So they will be more than happy. So first thing is training. Second thing is be vigilant with anyone around having. For example, nowadays you can even have devices, like you go around with the devices, press a button, you get hacking. You can hack into viruses of people viruses. So if you feel anything suspicious, definitely you have to report to your head. So that knowledge will be there. Okay, this fellow is doing something fishy. Let's do it. No, we need to take everyone has to take that step forward. They should not keep it with them. Let him do whatever it is. It's some gadget there. No, in an office, if it is a suspicious thing, report it. And if you feel like your router is restarting all the time, or electronic equipment is actually doing funny things, definitely stop it there. Contact an IT professional. They will help you out. Because whenever someone has control on it, it doesn't mean that once they will take the data immediately. Once they get into your computer, they reside in your computer, they will watch your activities. All these things happen in very long duration. After 6 months, they can take all the data at a time. So watch for those things. Be vigilant, I will say. Get trained, or you need to. All the offices should give their employees very good training in how to deal with these things, and be prepared. That can even though you are done with all those things, it can happen. We are seeing big companies like Bank, everyone, they are happening. When they can be affected, a small person like me or anyone, even I am prone to it. It's not that being a cyber professional, I am, I'm secure. No, they can come anyway. They have reports.
It's a great point. Exactly. Like we had Optus, we had Medibank. There's a few others, and they've got full-time teams who are just in there and they can still get hacked. And, as you said, anyone can get hacked. And now we've got AI voice scams and stuff where someone can basically, clone a voice and call you up on your number and stuff, which is sort of unfortunately happening. And it's very hard for people to know. But yeah, I think it's really, really important that any SME, any business gets someone like you to come in basically and set up that security from day one. I think it's such a smart investment because it could cost you a lot of money if you don't do that. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I think it's something a lot of people don't do as well. I think a lot of the SMEs, they sort of neglect it until there's a problem and then it's too late. So I think it's a no-brainer. So you don't have to say pricing, but like if an SME or a small business starts, for example, and they go, all right, we want to get our IT systems in place, or we want to have someone like you on call, you don't have to say exactly how much it costs, but like, is it quite affordable to do it for an SME type business, or?
Depends upon how much equipment actually they have, how much security we have to provide. For example, if they just have one computer on that in the company, and if they need a regular backups and installations, updates, it's pretty simple. It cannot be much expensive. But when you're going into larger equipments like servers, backups, cloud backups, you have hardwares, and so many things can be there. When you go into things, it will be becoming very complicated. So depending upon circumstances, it will be charged. But to be frank, what you are looking at the damages later, this is nothing. It's peanuts. It costs you 5% today, then you spend that 100% tomorrow after the damage has been done. So it is rather better to be safe, as I said. Be prepared and as well as be safe. Rather it has been too late. So to be frank, 5% is you should be keeping aside in these type of maintenance aspects of our total maintenance. Yeah, definitely I will say 5 to 10% will account to cybersecurity safety. But it is worth it because it will save you a long time. I can say that.
No, you're right. And look, it's great for this information. We appreciate it as well in your time, Ranjith. And I'm going to give you this a core voucher silver membership, which is worth $600 for you and your partner to go two free nights at your core hotel. You provided a lot of fantastic information. And if you are listening to this or watching this, if you're an SME or business or a franchisee who doesn't have this sort of stuff in place, please contact the boys at Jim's IT and the girls. They'll help you out because it's just such a no-brainer. I just don't think people take it seriously enough, even though there's all this PR in the media about breaching all the time. I just don't think most SMEs have what they do need. Based on the stuff you listed with those 4 things, I don't think most businesses will have all those in place. So it's just a no-brainer to use you guys. And yeah, it's been great to hear what you said today. And thank you for your knowledge today on the podcast. We appreciate it.
What is support? Thank you very much. Thanks for the patience to listen to me as well.
No, it's great. Especially the 4 things you listed. I think just hearing from knowing what most businesses would do, that might want one of those 2 of those things, but not all 4. So I think it's a no-brainer. It's really, really good advice and some great content we can share with people.
There we go. Here we are to serve the nation. So yeah, try to. Thank you very much.
No worries. You too. Have a good weekend. See you, Ranjith. Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.